This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Across the internet, on blogs and in videos, there are a ton of resources expressing habits that will change your life. Habits that will magically improve your well-being. And I'm guilty of sharing a few of my own. Quite a few times, actually. But what I haven't noticed is an intense focus on the habits we need to break. Those habits that are secretly destroying your momentum in life. That are the very reason why you can't build those quote unquote habits that will change your life. I hope you're ready for today's conversation because I've already buckled my seatbelt and I advise you to strap up for safety as well. This might be a bumpy ride. Here are the only habits worth breaking. Habit number 1 is negative self-talk. I told you to strap up for safety. I'm not holding anything back. Now, maybe you're telling yourself or trying to convince yourself in this moment that you don't struggle with negative self-talk. Well, I don't say anything bad about myself to myself. Nah, I don't do that. That's not me. Okay, well, since we're riding the honesty train today, it's only fair that I'm fully transparent with you. This sentence is a phrase straight out of my own playbook, meaning I've told myself something similar to this before, trying to convince myself that I don't struggle with negative self-talk, that that's not something I do. But the reality is I have, and you have too, I'm sure. See, not all negative self-talk is out loud. Many of those conversations happen internally, whispers even, that we tend to ignore or shake off because, well, it's a bad habit that we've grown comfortable with. So how do we break this habit? 1, take a deep breath and acknowledge it. This isn't the easiest thing to do, but it's a very important first step. 2, consider what's causing you to partake in this particular habit of negative self-talk. Are you afraid? Are you experiencing self-doubt, failure, insecurities? What is that thing for you that's at the root of these thoughts? Now, once you determine what that is, now it's time to devise a plan to silence those thoughts. And if this is a much deeper issue for you, then please don't shy away from professional help. 3, stop expecting perfection. Change this and your whole perspective will start to shift. And 4, surround yourself with positivity. By making this small change, you'll start to experience some grand benefits in your life. There's an expression that says you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. All this means in a nutshell is audit the people and things around you. If your circle is negative, then it's likely you'll carry negativity also. Habit number 2 is saying yes when you know, when you know your answer should be no. Now, why is this important? Well, it depends on how deep you want this conversation to go. And knowing that I only have a few minutes with you to make an impact with this conversation before you start to lose interest in this video, I'll keep it fairly short. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Here's a basic example. Let's say you've developed a habit of impulse buying, and every time you leave the house, you come home with bags and boxes filled with stuff you don't need. Regardless if it was on sale or you were bored and decided to pop out for a little bit, or you felt like you had some extra money to spend. Either way, you said yes to something you don't necessarily need. Now, in this example, let's look at what you said no to. You said no to saving that money. You said no to saving time or spending your available time in other areas of your life. Because little do you realize, every item you bring into your life then requires your time to manage it. Think about the clothes you bought but don't wear. Now, every time you go to get dressed, you're wasting time fumbling through an excessive amount of clothes, trying to find your favorite shirt. But you forgot it was dirty because you didn't have time to do the laundry 2 weeks ago. Okay, what else? You also said no to spending more money on what matters because you spent your extra money on something you didn't need, right? Okay, let's go deeper. Maybe you said yes to a relationship that's not the best for you, or a friendship that carries a very toxic weight. Now imagine everything you said no to. Okay, so how do we break this habit? Step one is awareness, taking note of the simple fact that you do this. Step two is questioning it and understanding why you keep doing it. Are you people pleasing? Are you worried that you might be missing out on something? Are you afraid to say no? Why? Step three is setting boundaries for yourself, as well as how much influence you allow others to have over you. See, when you have boundaries, you start to regain control of your life. And through that control, you start to build confidence, which leads to more sound decisions, better relationships, more energy, and more peace. All right, before we continue this conversation, I'd love for you to comment below and let me know if you're enjoying this at all. Have I shared something so far that caught you by surprise or really resonated with you? Also, I'd love to take a quick minute here to encourage you to check out my blog over on my website. I just shared an in-depth post that dives deeper into additional habits we need to break. I'll leave a link to that post down below in the description. And while you're down there, go ahead and check out Squarespace as well. Now, if you're not familiar, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to help you build a beautiful online presence, which happens to be the platform I personally use for my website and blog. Now, if you're not much of a writer or a blogger yourself, you can also build an online store or portfolio to share your work, projects, and creativity. Plus, their best-in-class templates make it super easy to get started. So if you're looking to build a website of your own, definitely check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/RonaldLBanks to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That link is also in the description below. Okay, habit number 3 is not making time for yourself. Whew, that's a big one. As a matter of fact, let's make a promise about this to ourselves together. On the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I promise to make time for myself. That felt good to say, did it not? I mean, I've struggled with this habit personally, and just hearing those words flow from my lips is encouraging. It's freeing because it has given me permission to make time for myself. And I want you to give yourself that same permission. See, in the midst of life, in all its busyness, stress, and change, self-care is often overlooked. I mean, it seems as though everything is about hustle and being a boss, which has its place, don't get me wrong, but I challenge you not to lose sight of balance and self-care. If you've heard nothing else I mentioned in this video, hear this. Taking time for yourself is not being selfish or unproductive. We all have responsibilities, some more than others, depending on your situation or what chapter in life you're currently on. But regardless of that, self-care is not something to feel guilty about. Now, what that looks like is up to you. Self-care holds many shapes and forms. There's physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. There's personal, your space, right? In terms of cleanliness and safety and stability. There's financial self-care. And then there's also work. See, the goal here is to shift your perspective and accept the fact that taking time for yourself is key if you truly want to live a productive, happy, and successful life. As always, stay true to you, keep growing on your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.